The capital of Mississippi, Jackson, the city with soul. From its statehood to the Civil War to its progression into a modern and dynamic city, Jackson's infrastructure has supported the capital's transportation needs. But now these aging roadways are struggling to handle the migration of over 70,000 workers in and out of the city every day.
How can we facilitate those people moving in and out of here? It's a whole economic engine concept.
Instead of focusing solely on new and existing roadways, isn't it time for Jackson to consider alternative modes of transportation? $60,000 commuters make their drive from the surrounding metro areas in their personal vehicle every day, causing a significant level of stress on Jackson's roadways. Inadequate funding over the years has left Jackson at a disadvantage, and with 60,000 of the 70,000 workers driving to work alone every day, the pressures on these roadways is not likely to let up.
Everybody's got a car, part of the problem. You might mitigate the maintenance on the road if you reduce the traffic.
How can the city begin to focus its limited resources towards reducing its reliance on the car as the main mode of transportation? Some have chosen alternative modes of transportation like walking and biking.
What I also really enjoy about biking is that it's great exercise. I get where I need to go while I'm exercising. I don't pay for gas, I don't burn gas, and I find that I can get pretty much everywhere I need to go in Jackson. I think Jackson could do a better job of making share the road signs or marking which roads are meant to be bikeways or shared cars and bikes. I've thought a lot about whether bike lanes would be helpful, and I'm not even sure because, like I was saying before, the part of the road that's usually designed for bikes is often the most bumpy, and so if there were bike lanes, I think that might just restrict bikers to the crappiest part of the road.
However, the majority of the city's workforce lives outside the city limits. Therefore, walking and biking are not the answer to reducing the amount of vehicular traffic on the streets of Jackson. JTran is the main public transit system available to Jacksonians. Due to a low budget and small profit margin, JTran has not been able to adequately serve Jackson.
I've thought about riding the bus before, and I have no problem with public transportation. I think that when it works efficiently, it's great, but I've heard that the routes aren't particularly convenient.
I don't know why JTran is not working. A critical component that we know is essential to getting ridership. It's on time and frequency.
I had to wait an hour for every bus. Everybody had to wait. They run every hour on Saturday through the week. Something like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. When I miss the bus, my next option is to walk. They just slowing the people down here in this town because no transportation is running from one side of town to the other side. A long way past 80 highway. So you know your feet gonna be smoking hot.
Even with a new 38,000 square foot bus station soon to be completed, much more investment will be necessary for transportation to be more accessible in Jackson. Should the city continue to develop its underutilized JTran system before thinking about an alternative method for moving people in and out of the city?
When the problem is so obnoxious that people can't get to work, emergency vehicles can't move around, and you get in such a problem, and then the community goes, we need to think about doing something else. They start talking about light rail.
With 32 states using light rail to successfully move people, it has become the standard for a majority of the United States as well as other countries.
What we're simply talking about here is adding to the connectivity and trying to mitigate traffic being on the road. Right now, we're using the road and that's it.
Yeah.
And we're wearing them out. And we're beating them up. It's expensive to fix. Parking, you eliminate the infrastructure challenges and all those kinds of things. Cost of fuel, clean air, all those kinds of issues. Light rail mitigates all of that. One of the fascinating aspects about Jackson, it has had a lot of rail in it. Some of that rail is no longer operational, but a lot of the right-of-way is still there. Connecting to another transportation system is critical. I think that's been pretty well recognized. Cross-hatching the rubber-tired buses where they move from east to west, north to south, and find a rail stop if they need to go any further. It's one of those great things, and you can just see that around the rest of the world, how they move a lot of people. And you can move short distances or long distances. Ridership increases, add more cars, add frequency. That's the scalability that is important to recognize. A better time to think about it than now. We're capable of doing a little planning and preserving some right-of-way and some ideas.
Focusing resources on a system such as light rail is not only beneficial to Jackson, but it is becoming a necessity. With more and more people moving from the city limits into the surrounding suburbs, traffic problems are increasing dramatically. Building a light rail system that integrates with a more developed J-Trans system provides a real solution for Jackson's future transportation needs.